Today we're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth, rated PG-13, 2 hours and 14 minutes. This is a Universal Pictures production. It is an action-adventure sci-fi. It's directed by Gareth Edwards and stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. Jurassic World Rebirth hit theaters just before July 4th. Too bad I already saw this movie 15 years ago. This Jurassic World might be being billed as a sequel to Jurassic World Dominion, but this is actually the rebirth of Gareth Edwards' first feature film, Monsters. Jurassic World Rebirth begins 5 years after the events of Dominion. Large portions of the equator have been quarantined due to the dinosaur population thriving in those climates. Martin Krebs, Rupert Friend, is an investor bankrolling an unprecedented medical advancement in the treatment of heart disease. The next crucial step in developing these drugs is to get the blood samples from the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth. And if you are looking for that to make sense, you have already lost the plot. Krebs seeks out the help of mercenary Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, to assemble a team to take them to the equator and retrieve the blood samples. Along the way, they enlist the help of dinosaur expert Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey, and travel guide Duncan Kincaid, Mahershala Ali. Meanwhile, Ruben Delgado, Manuel Garcia Rulfo, has taken the sailboat out for one last hurrah before his eldest daughter, Teresa, Luna Blaze, goes to NYU. Congrats. His youngest, Isabella, nervously munches away at candy, while Teresa's good-for-nothing lazy boyfriend, Xavier, sleeps away in the cabin. That is until their boat capsizes after being attacked by a mosasaur. The two groups converge when Duncan responds to the Delgado's call for help over the radio. Alright, look. The setup is preposterous, none of it really makes any sense, and that's before we get into the really silly bits. What I will say, and to the film's credit, is it is never boring. Well over 2 hours long, and never even feels it for a second. No doubt, Jurassic World Rebirth is as thrilling as it is entertaining. Which is a bit weird, considering Gareth Edwards was quoted as saying, audiences just aren't that interested in dinosaurs anymore. See, Jurassic World Rebirth isn't just a dinosaur movie. It's also a monster movie, which brings us full circle. Gareth Edwards became known for his small-budget film, Monsters. That film told the story of a young woman fleeing to South America to escape the corporate life her father was imposing on her and the marriage she didn't want to be in. In that world, a probe from outer space crash-landed in Mexico, and much of the region around the equator became uninhabitable because large octopus-like aliens grew from the wreckage. Her father sends one of his employees to bring her home, and due to a series of unfortunate circumstances, they are forced to travel through the quarantine zone. That plot device, along with entire scenes, are recreated in full in Jurassic World Rebirth. In Monsters, the aliens meet and express affection in much the same way the mutant Brachiosaurus in Rebirth express mutual affection. The finale sequence takes place in a convenience store. The way their tails move is similar to the tentacles of the octopi aliens, and I don't know, this all just feels like a bit of deja vu in kind of the wrong way. See, for all the money on screen, Rebirth is really half the film Monsters was. Monsters is a film with a soul. It has a lot of passion behind it, and yet shows a vital amount of restraint. Rebirth can recreate the same scenes with 10 times the effects, and yet fails to deliver the same emotional impact. It almost feels like Gareth Edwards said, since no one saw Monsters, and everyone will see this, I should just repurpose my own material. And that isn't to say that Rebirth is entirely unoriginal. While we do get a lot of Jurassic in this world, Rebirth also lets us know scientists in InGen weren't just making dinosaurs, they were creating them too. I was very hesitant to accept this direction, but writer David Koepp, which is his fourth movie in theaters this year alone, by the way, is also the original writer of Jurassic Park and steers the ship pretty handsomely. I will even say there are some pretty earnest attempts at character development here as well, particularly with Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali's characters. I think what bothers me the most is just how overdone it feels in the end. Everything has to be over the top. At one point somebody says, "Gee, that'll be worth $1 billion," and they're swiftly corrected, "No, $1 trillion." See, in that same interview with Games Radar Plus, Gareth Edwards also said, "There's been many dinosaur films in terms of the Jurassic Park movies, and the audience, you've got to do something new and fresh to give them a reason to come to the movie." I think the misunderstanding is audiences aren't disinterested in the dinosaurs. They've been let down by bad films. Fallen Kingdom is not a good film. Dominion, even less so. But if you were to put on Jurassic Park right now to someone who has never seen it before, the first thud of the T-Rex foot, the little shockwave in the glass, is still just as effective as it was 32 years ago. Or your money back. As I was leaving work before my screening, one of my coworkers asked what I was seeing. And I told him, and he lit up. And he said, "Oh, my brother loves dinosaurs. We're gonna see that." The premise of Rebirth is that the park, the Jurassic Park, was only responding to the needs of their audience. They needed mutant monster dinosaurs. So, as Martin Scorsese might, let's compare this to a theme park ride. Gareth Edwards believes you need Kingda Ka. And to be honest, it's a fun coaster. But it's the type of coaster you ride once. This isn't the Cyclone. A simple figure eight that somehow, even though we know all the beats, remains incredibly exciting. Because we know we're sitting in a quality coaster. It stood the test of time, while Kingda Ka has already been grounded. So, if I had to assign a star rating to this, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's a perfectly fine picture. I think many of you will have a good time with it. I think the writing is fine. And it doesn't evoke really any of the feelings that you want it to, but it's well done and it's entertaining. So, yeah. 3. What did you guys think? Did you guys like this movie? Have you seen it yet? Are you seeing it for the 4th of July? If you like this review and you want to see more, please subscribe down below, hit the bell so you can get notifications every time I post something. If you want to read my reviews or read reviews that never make it to YouTube, check out my Patreon page where I update that multiple times a week. You know, sometimes doing movies, sometimes doing other things, you know, so definitely check it out. The Patreon page is also going to give you behind the scenes of any of Scarlett's productions going on this year, which we will have a couple, and they're going to be really cool. So please stay tuned, check that out, and keep coming back. And until then, I will see you guys at the movies.